Well, in 2025, 4 Midstate police officers lost their lives in the line of duty.
And a politically motivated attack on the governor's residence, of course, made national headlines. Allie Lanyon has a look back at the biggest crime stories of the past year.
In February, a devastating scene unfolded at UPMC Memorial Hospital in York County. A man, upset over the loss of a loved one, opened fire inside the ICU and took staff members hostage. A doctor, nurse, and custodian were shot. Police raced to the scene and confronted the gunman, fatally shooting him. In the end, 3 officers were also wounded, including Patrolman Andrew Duarte of the West York Borough Police Department, who died from his injuries.
Let it not be lost on anyone the act of extraordinary bravery and courage by the healthcare workers here, by the law enforcement professionals, the state and local and here at the hospital level, who ran toward danger to keep people safe.
Nearly a week later, Duarte was honored as officers from across the country gathered to honor the young officer's service and his sacrifice.
So walk proudly down your road, Andrew Duarte. Take your leave, my friend.
Governor's residence reporting a large fire in the dining room on the first floor. They can see fire out the windows.
In April, Governor Josh Shapiro would deliver another somber news conference, this time as the victim of a politically motivated attack at the governor's residence in Harrisburg.
It is not okay, and it has to stop. We have to be better than this.
Police say Cody Balmer scaled the fence and broke into the mansion, trying to get to the governor, who was sleeping along with his family after celebrating the first night of Passover. Court records say Balmer was armed with a hammer and planned to attack Shapiro.
I would like to apologize. Governor Josh Shapiro needs to know that Cody Balmer will not take part in his plans for what he wants to do to the Palestinian people. He needs to leave my family alone.
Balmer set fire to the state dining room with a Molotov cocktail. He was later arrested. In October, he pleaded guilty to several crimes, including attempted murder, receiving a 25 to 50-year sentence.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to Dauphin County residents?
Also in April, a Dauphin County magisterial district judge was convicted of attempted murder. After a trial in Harrisburg, a jury believed Sonia McKnight shot her ex-boyfriend in the face while he was sleeping. She was later sentenced up to 30 years behind bars, vowing to appeal. She also formally resigned from the bench. September saw a horrifying situation unfold along Front Street during the final day of the city's popular Capona Festival. Police say a 37-year-old woman drove a minivan around barriers, plowing through the crowded festival. She's accused of critically injuring a 6-year-old boy, a young woman in a wheelchair, and a city public works employee.
And for this to happen, it just, it's terrible.
The driver of the van remains behind bars, although DUI charges against her were later dropped.
I saw an officer go down on the road.
Later that month, one of the deadliest days for law enforcement officers in Pennsylvania's history unfolded in rural York County.
There were 5 law enforcement officers who were shot today.
Northern York County regional police officers trying to serve a warrant were ambushed by a man armed with an AR-15 style rifle. 3 of them were killed.
It now falls upon us, their brothers and sisters in law enforcement, to remain unafraid, to stand tall, and to continue this work in their memory.
Detective Sergeant Cody Becker, Detective Mark Baker, and Detective Isaiah Emmenheiser were remembered for their final act of heroism, successfully protecting a victim of domestic violence. A 4th officer who was also shot attended that funeral and was later released from the hospital.
It has been our honor to serve you. Lieutenant, congratulations. You're going home. Thank you, everyone.
A York County Sheriff's deputy was also shot that day. He was released in October. Also in October, 2 state police troopers were injured in a fierce gunfight on an I-81 exit ramp in Franklin County. The troopers were chasing retail theft suspects and stopped the car with spike strips. one of the suspects opened fire, striking the 2 troopers before he was killed by police.
And I can't say enough about how they performed during this incident, but also how their fellow troopers and our law enforcement partners performed.
Both were airlifted to the hospital and weeks later were honored by Antrim Township supervisors for their heroism. This fall, a murder in Steelton led to the lockdown of several schools. A 26-year-old was shot and killed, his brother wounded. The search for a suspect forced the cancellation of classes for several days.
I mean, we have your normal stuff go on, but this is like the next level.
That suspect later surrendered to police in the Allentown area and remains behind bars awaiting trial. Another Midstate case making national headlines this past year, justice more than a decade in the making. A Gettysburg College student was raped back in 2013. 7 years later, her attacker sent her a message on Facebook saying, "So I raped you." The victim pushed for his arrest and extradition from France. He finally pleaded guilty this July and was sentenced in October to 2 to 4 years in prison.
I was shaking and tearing up a little bit, but it felt really good to be able to look him in the eyes and tell him what he did to me.
Allie Lanyon, ABC 27.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27. We're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the homepage, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.